Alright, what's up, y'all? I'm back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about people sleeping in the cars. Welcome to Showman Finance. These videos, for the most part, is to bring awareness to the economy. We're all struggling out here, so I like to have these honest and open conversations about what's going on in the world, and hopefully even share some things that I can help you with in finance. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay. I guess that's how you go. Okay, there we go. I probably need to. Okay.
Well, there's a new way people are deciding to get ahead in this current environment, this current inflationary environment, and that is by choosing homelessness. People are choosing to forego their rent, they're choosing to forego their mortgage, their long-term investment of owning a home. They are saying, no, forget it. If we're going to get ahead, if we're going to make it in today's economy, I'm going to choose homelessness now so that I can try and get ahead for later.
Man, I'm telling y'all, I'm overpaying rent. I'm so sick of paying rent. Every beginning of the month, I just be like, oh my God, I gotta pay this again. Then I be like, you know what? I could just live in my car. I'm always in my car anyway. I might as well just live in my car. I got a TV hookup in my car, like my monitor. I can hook up something and watch TV on it. So I can just live in my car. I can just get a membership at Planet Fitness, take showers there.
You know, it's crazy because I've done everything he's mentioning right now. I've done it before. And the main thing about sleeping in your car is like, I would say personally, would I do it again? I would do it for content, you know, because when I was doing it for content, I got a lot of views and stuff. But I would say personally, I wouldn't live in my car for just the amount of dangerous scenarios. Like, because even when I was living in my car, like cops are constantly hounding you. It's a lot of things. But it is a great content meta. Like, if you can do it and you're doing it for content and, you know, stuff like that, I think it's fine. But when you're doing it just save money, I'm going to be honest. Whatever you're saving isn't going to save you. Saving money today, especially if you live in America, is not going to make your situation any better. Honestly, that's how I personally feel. But other people could think I'm wrong, you know.
There. I don't want to even rent no more. I got a nice place. But you know what? I'm over it. I'm just, y'all can have it. I don't even want it no more. I'm just tired of paying these people every month. Even if it was a mortgage, which I don't want to own a home. You know, that's just not my thing. But even if it was a mortgage, I'd just be tired. I'm over it.
Again, I mean, this is the weird part. Like, I get that with money, man. That's the hard thing. It's like when you gotta pay bills and stuff like that and you got rent, it can be really hard for you to feel like you're getting ahead. But you have to define what getting ahead means for you. If your dream is like, I'm gonna try to save my money as long as I can to get a car, I just don't know if that works in today's society. That's why you see a lot of people doing poly market. You see a lot of people doing like questionable financial risks just to get ahead. When really, I think that in today's society, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, go back home and live with your mom or dad, or like, it's better for you to go live with like a cousin. I'm doing that. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm gonna get my own place here soon. But like, I want you to know that it is better for you to go that certain route. You know, if you're living with family members like your brother, your cousin, whatever, I think the better thing for you to do is to stop trying to save yourself out of a situation and start putting your money into something. It does not have to necessarily be a business, right? We're talking about just building safety nets. Like, maybe you invested in your Roth IRA for the entire year, or maybe you set a goal to say, okay, as long as I can keep 5,000 in my savings account, I don't care how much money I don't make, as long as I could do that, right? It's about just being proactive about putting protections in place that could potentially save you in a financial rut. And then also skill stack. I think actually learning new skills so you can make more money is a better solution. It's better to invest and maybe start a business, maybe find other ways to increase your income than it is to save. Saving is a tool that's great, but if you're already not making enough money, it doesn't actually matter that much.
I just want to keep my money in my pocket. I need my car because I got places to go. But I don't want to rent no more, man. And I know it ain't just me.
So a lot of people think that I don't have a job. Which I'm actually currently at work right now. I do security. I work really late, Monday through Thursdays, like 32 hours a week. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. So pretty much I just patrol through neighborhoods. I make sure everything's fine, make sure people are getting along. I always make sure like the pool areas are good, jacuzzi, everything like that. Everything's locked. And if any of you guys do need a job and you're always curious, like, how can I get a job? It's been very hard to get a job. Honestly, go security. I mean, it doesn't hurt, you know. It's a pretty easy job. Yeah, you could deal with some crazy people here and there. It's just a part.
I mean, a security job works to a certain extent. The only bad thing about a security job is, I mean, some of them pay low, and then some situations with you being a security guard could potentially be dangerous. It depends on where you're working at.
Part of the job. But I would highly recommend security. It's just like an easy to get in job. From there, you know, you just work and you can find other jobs that potentially are better, or any career path, which is like what I'm trying to figure out currently. But yeah, once again, I have a job. I'm not just absolutely doing nothing with my life. Wanted to just let you guys know.
I'm homeless and I'm carless, but I do have a job. So join me on my journey as we turn these challenges into triumph.
You know, this seems to be a common theme in America. People having jobs, but having to live in their vehicles or go back home or living in a shelter, or worse, they're on the street. They're not even able to live in a car, and then they have nothing. And then obviously you could say sometimes it comes down to poor financial decisions. But like I said, in today's age, you cannot save money, save yourself out of a situation. If you're stuck in a dead end job, you cannot there's no such thing as saving money with a certain income. Like, it just won't happen today. If you're making $10 an hour, you can't save money. It's nearly, even if you don't do anything else, it's not going to work. So
And save for another car.
It's the 4th of July, and the AI Creator course is having its biggest sale of the year.
You can create any character that you want.
Real life,
sci-fi, fantasy,
or turn yourself into your favorite cartoon.
This is why you don't assume that all homeless people don't have jobs. So there's a guy right there and a guy right there, and he's screaming at him, "Get a job, bum."
I don't think it's that you don't have a job, but so the thing is like, homeless with 4 kids and 2 full-time jobs. And this is where I think like it's either she's lying about something or not saying something. Like maybe there's debt that she has to pay, or certain bills, or there's certain thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to figure out how you have 2 full-time jobs and you're homeless. You know, I mean, I get it. If you're in a certain city where the housing is high no matter what, I get it. But homeless with 4 kids and 2 full-time jobs, I mean, 4 kids, that could be expensive to feed. But I'm pretty sure you can still get like food stamps or like some sort of assistance, or use food pantries. I don't know. This one seems a little crazy, but I'm gonna I want to hear her out. I want to see her explain.
And the guy's like, "I have a job, I just don't have housing. I can't afford housing, but I have a job. I work every single day." So that just goes to show you, you can't assume that all homeless people are jobless, because they are not. 40 to 60% of all homeless people have jobs. The reason that they're homeless is, number one, the documents. They've lost their documents in the move, or getting kicked out, or getting a divorce, and they put it in storage, and storage was too expensive, so they had to let it go. The second reason is because the United States of America, even last year, you cannot afford even a 1-bedroom apartment or a studio apartment with the money that you're making right now, because these apartments are asking for astronomical amount of income proof, like 3 times the amount. If you're just a single
Wait, let me see. So 3 times the rent. I'm gonna ask Gemini, the AI, 3 times the rent if rent is 1732. Because that's about the average in some cities. So you would need to be bringing in $5,196. 5,196 doubloons a month. That's a crazy amount of money that you've got to pay. But let's say the average rent. Let's say you got some for 900. That's like 951. So about, if your rent was like 951, 900, then that's affordable, because $2,853, that's all you'd have to make. But that's still breaking even for a lot of people. Like, you still won't have much to save if you're only making between 24 and 34,000 a year. So yeah, that's basically poverty. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard, bro.
like that man looks like to be, okay? Maybe he has family, I don't know. What the f you need 3 bedrooms for? You just need 1 little unit. What can you possibly...
Yeah.
Today, man.
All right, let me see what he said.
They would rather make a $800 or $900 a month payment on an SUV or a pickup truck and live in a vehicle than to live in these overpriced ass houses and overpriced ass apartments. It is cheaper to go and finance a vehicle for $700 or $800 a month, and you tack on a little insurance, which is about $300 depending on your age. They'd rather live in a vehicle than to be disrespected and have to pay high mortgage and high rent prices. These apartments now, they use their application process, man, as a way to make money off you. It's a scam. They sell you the dream. They tour you through these apartments and call them luxury. Ain't a damn thing about them luxury, man. You can get an apartment or a house with a pool any damn where. But then they sit there and sell you a dream, making you think that you finna get approved for this apartment, and you pay that $45 or that $100 non-refundable application fee, and then they end up denying you, or they saying you need 3 times the rent. How many people sitting around in 2026 in this economy with 3 times their rent sitting in their account? Come on, man. The reality is people not really doing it, man. Overpriced.
All right, so if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to have 3 times the rent. You don't need 3 times the rent to be approved for a place, I don't think. Like, I mean, you have to have 3 times the rent, like, as your net gross, but I don't think you have to actually have it in your bank account to get a place, you know? So that was weird that you said that. That being noted, there is a lot of people that don't make 3 times the rent based on the average rent price, depending on where you're at. Good luck with a luxury apartment. I've actually been in a luxury apartment before, and honestly, looking back, it was the worst decision of my life. If I ever rent at that price again, I'll just rent a house. You might as well. At least you get the extra space, right?
Priced apartments, overpriced houses. People would rather just live in their vehicles. Well, why not? It's cheaper. You can pull up to a Walmart parking lot after it closed and just go to sleep. You can pull over at truck stops. Truck stops are free. They don't charge you a lot space or nothing. You can just pull up at a freaking resting station for trucks and just go to sleep, man. The way that this economy is upside down, man. I see people sleeping at the park.
I'm gonna be honest though. This economy is way different because for some reason we think this economy is mostly just um like maybe sales, corporate, maybe physical labor. We know of like the digital, right? Like you're watching this video right now, so you know people can make money from YouTubing or like Twitch or whatever it is. And I think the rest of the world hasn't really understood that we have been living in more of a, I wouldn't say it's all online based, but a lot of the wealth is being built through these tech companies, and it's trickling down to engineers first. It's trickling down to people who are in the positions to gather that wealth. So like if you're on the YouTube platform, if you can actually make enough views or get enough popularity or whatever it is, or you can find a way to just sell something online, it's going to be easier for you to benefit from that money in the tech world. But a lot of that money doesn't spread everywhere. That's why a lot of people are starting to call these technocrats oligarchs, because their money doesn't necessarily benefit all of society in a real sense. And wages have not gone up, but wealth for these tech companies continue to increase, right? So the main thing to think about is positioning yourself. Today, you cannot afford not to be digital native unless you have a good career where you're making a decent amount of money. Like let's say you went to college and you're making 90,000 a year or 80,000 a year. Then you're probably okay, right? And then you could get, if you got debt, you could knock your debt out. But if you're making 24,000 a year, or you're a Lyft driver, DoorDasher, you need to be in the digital economy or go get a certain certificate for a certain niche or field. I would suggest you do both and still do Lyft and DoorDash if you have time, especially if you're single. Skill stack. That's what I've been doing. Like I've been learning about Roblox, learn how to make games there, building YouTube channels, building Instagram channels, building Snapchat channels. I'm doing everything that's possible to set myself up to not only benefit from this digital economy, but also kind of be in the physical economy. E-commerce is another thing where that's an easy way for you to get in the physical economy, even though parts of it's online. And just take your time with it. Don't look at it as something you got to do now. If you got a job, keep yourself above water, save what you can. Just don't do anything stupid and build, because everybody else is trying to tell you to live your life. But this economy is so bad, you've got to keep your head on a swivel and you just got to adapt to the new world. I think this new world is awesome. It's creating more opportunity than ever before, but there is some luck involved and some hard work involved. So that's the thing. You just got to play that game. But yeah, he's right. I mean, there's a lot of people who are just living in it because the bottom level is so low now.
On benches. I see people sleeping in their cars and they don't care if you walking past laughing at them or not. You know why? Because they're actually laughing at you. They know that you gotta pay that high cost of living. They don't. All they gotta do is keep up their car payment every single month. They don't have to worry about property taxes. They don't have to worry about utilities. They don't have to worry about lawn care service. They don't have to worry about none of that stuff. All they gotta do is worry about keeping gas in their vehicle. And there's a lot of people who actually live like that, man. and they're actually able to save money. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to live in their car, but the reality of it is a lot of people are living in their cars and they're making a really good life.
I know this is horrible timing right now. I'm the guy who lives in his car in America because the cost of living is too expensive. I don't believe in paying for rent or trying to get a house. It's ridiculous.
I just did the math and it made me want to vomit. We pay $3,000.
I'm not gonna lie, gang. I'm never gonna buy a house, bro. I'm not saying I won't. Like, there's ways that I've been looking into making money too. Like I said, I've been, skill stacking, learning different things. Man, just doing assignment fees for wholesale real estate and then buying your own real estate and never living in a house will make you richer than buying a house. I hate to say it, you gotta play with capitalism at where it's at. Stop trying to beat the system. They already beat you. It's time for you to play their game. Today, capitalism's at the point where you actually have to participate. They're making you participate. You can't just be a regular bystander in the economy anymore. You gotta realize you gotta play the game. And if people get mad at you and look at you as less than, then I just look at it as, bro, come on, we gotta be real. They got our backs against the wall. What are we gonna do with this? We gotta do something.
$1,000 a month to rent this home. When we move in the camper, we could live there for 6 months for what would equal 1 month in the house. And that's why we're moving into the camper in 30 days.
If you are within 20 years of retirement, or if you're already retired, all of your hard-earned savings now could be in danger. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is a warning.
So this keeps coming up. People keep saying that if you live in your car, it's not the same thing as being homeless. Let's talk about this for a minute. I get what they're saying. If you sleep in a car, it's not as difficult as sleeping outside or under an overpass or in a homeless shelter. I get what they're saying, but here's the thing. For anybody that feels this way, I would encourage you to go sleep in your car for the next 2 weeks. No cheating. You're not allowed to go inside to take a break. You can't really plug your devices in because you'll drain your car battery. No heat or air. You're outside with all the noise and all.
So she's doing car camping terribly. Get you a generator, okay? So you can plug your devices up. Get you a cooling fan if it's hot outside, and not like a cheap one. Get like an actual nice cooling fan that your generator can power. I would say also get you a what else would I say? I don't know. I would personally say probably try to get you a space heater, or some sort of electric heating blade. That would probably be better because a space heater could probably be dangerous inside of enclosed space like that, like a car or a van or SUV. But definitely get you a generator, or get you a heated blanket if it gets cold. Maybe get you an electric cooler to keep your foods, perishables, good to go. Have a place where you can charge your generator, like a park or a place you can go. You could probably get away with doing it in a library, something like that, right? So yeah, but definitely keep everything okay. Yeah, all right, let's move on.
The crime and all the craziness going on. No shower, nowhere to cook, no kitchen, no running water. And I want you to pack that vehicle with everything that you own, so you have no space to do anything. And then I want you to try not to get arrested, because it is illegal in the United States to sleep in your car.
I mean, it's not completely illegal in every sense of the word. Like, some places do allow you to live in your car. You'll probably get away with it better if you were doing van life or living in an RV.
unless you're in a certain designated area. And I want you to do all that while working 40 hours per week and carrying on your regular activities. At the end of that 2 weeks, I want you to tell me how rested and clean you are and what your quality of life is like and how easy it is. You have to find somewhere to make food. You have to find somewhere to keep and store food.
You actually, again, I think that the type of car camping she was doing was more like maybe she couldn't afford to get some of the necessities. Because I realized when I was car camping, there was certain things I had to get, or it was just going to be a miserable experience. So I got things like a sleeping bag with a good amount of covers, especially when it gets cold at night, because there was times where I was going to freeze if I didn't. There was a lot of crazy stuff when I was sleeping in my car. Like, it's an actual crazy experience. I did it for nights and days on it. And I took showers at gyms like Planet Fitness or, True Fit. Like, I was outside for real, guys. Like, a lot of people don't know that. I was really I was really doing it. But it taught me a lot of things that I could actually be happy without having a lot. That's why to this day I've like kind of embraced being, I'm not like a minimalist, but like I can live without like probably most of the things that mainstream consumers need. Like, but I do want to make money, so that's a thing I do. And I learned a lot about making media content living in my car because I had all the extra time. I was just Lyft driving, door dashing, and making money on the internet, So while I was living in the car, so it helped me a lot.
You have to find somewhere to take a shower, somewhere to change clothes. Where are you going to hang out with your friends? I guess you're hanging out at their places, right? Good luck finding anything in your car once it's full of everything that you own because it's your home. Let me know how that works out for you. Let me know how you're...
And yeah, that's the thing. I had a storage when I was living in my car. I had a storage, and I had friends that let me hold some stuff at their place, maybe if it was too big, and also some family to let me hold some stuff. But yeah, it's going to be hard if you got all your stuff, all your clothes in one spot. And it's going to be crazy.
Your experiment goes.
This is day 2 of living in my car because I filed for bankruptcy, had to move out of my house, and couldn't find a place to live. So here is what I'm living in, a 2017 Toyota RAV4. Up here, I got some storage, which I bought this before I filed for bankruptcy because I kind of figured this is where we were going to go. And I didn't have this car, I had a totally different car, but I keep specific things up there, and then my bedding and that kind of stuff, and then we sleep in the back. And I got my pup in here. It's a little bit of a mess. I'll get it cleaned up and
Imagine America just starts. Well, his setup is like similar to mine. Like, if I have a clip, I'll show it here on the screen. But yeah, man, I was like, I get it. Like, I had like a similar strap-on system, kept certain things up there, had a portable sink. Bro, I had a water jug attached to like a tube where I could take a shower in with a little stand. Like, I had a crazy setup. I think my next setup is gonna be way better than the setup I have now, just because the last setup I had was like I did it with 3 different cars, and I thought about a Jeep, but I'm looking at the Honda Element currently. I've been looking at the Honda Element for 2 years. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it because of like financial reasons with my media business and like personal financial struggles. But like, now that I'm out of that phase of hard stuff, now it looks like, hey, I will probably make a crazy setup for Camping Kaizen, one of my brands, which you can check out down below if you want. But yeah, man, I get it, dude. I'm telling you, man, I did it, dude. If I was him in his position, dude, I would just start making car camping videos. Like, that's what I would do immediately. That's what I did. And it turned out to make me $100 a month on Amazon by posting products I use for camping. So, I mean, again, this channel is Showman Finance. So I'm going to talk about this stuff openly because I've been through some of this stuff too. Man, I would just use that opportunity to start building a goddamn YouTube channel. Might as well.
Show you how we have it set up inside, but I also have a cat that lives in there as well.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up. Hello, my name is...
In case you're not staying up to date with what's going on in your state, I live in Indiana, and Indiana is passing a bill that criminalizes homelessness. It criminalizes homelessness.
I just got a camping ticket, y'all. A misdemeanor for having my tent up because I don't want to sleep around, you know, tweakers and a bunch of people all night because it brings out my anxiety and I can't sleep. And, you know, they make it impossible for people to be homeless, you know, like you know, I don't want to be in a park. I don't want to be out in, you know, out downtown. I'd rather be out here by the wood, you know, by the river, and I can't even do that.
I think the most unintelligent thing that you can say on the conversation of homelessness is that they should just get a job. Did you know 40 to 60% of people experiencing homelessness in America already have one? Crazy concept, employment doesn't equal housing. Sometimes income is just not enough income. The National Low Income Housing Coalition says there's no state, no metro area, no county.
And then, in you know, that's the crazy part. You're in survival mode when you are in that position. You know, even if you have different skill sets that you could use, you may be just emotionally drained and exhausted, and it can be hard, man. It could be hard for you to mentally get yourself back up while you're homeless. It could be difficult, you know?
In America, where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford a 2-bedroom. Statistically, yeah, like a fair market rent. And in 2025, a full-time worker needed almost $29 an hour to afford a 1-bedroom rental home nationally. So when someone who's working 40 hours a week still can't afford basic apartments, maybe homelessness isn't about getting a job. And I mean, if we think about this toxic landlord-tenant culture, think about what it costs to move into an apartment, right? First month's rent, sometimes last month's rent, security deposit, application fees, there's credit checks, income requirements, deposits for your utilities. If you're already living paycheck to paycheck, where are you
I mean, here's the thing too. Property taxes are squeezing landlords and tenants, depending on the city. So they have to charge a certain amount, and then the gas. I mean, maybe there's certain things like maintenance that's probably costing more if they have to send a maintenance person to you. It could depend on what exactly is going on to why things are the way they are. So it's a weird situation we're in, guys. We're in a difficult situation. Things have been hard for a minute, guys.
come up with thousands of dollars overnight. That's the trick to the system. They never want you to stop renting. And then people are like, oh, well don't rent, just go buy a house instead. That's becoming harder too. Housing is increasingly becoming an investment instead of just a place to live. People are buying houses to rent them.
That's true. People are buying houses to rent them, or they're doing what I'm doing. Like another thing I do on the side is wholesale real estate. So they'll go assign a house on a contract, and a real estate investor or a cash buyer or someone looking to sell. There's someone who's looking to sell. They're probably the product, like just describing her situation, what she's talking about. Most of the people that I've made a finder's fee on is like a distressed property with a, decent ARV, and the price of the house, like, and at this point, that house may need the debt to be taken on. So, I go find a buyer or a cash buyer or an investor, or maybe a realtor that takes assignment deals and, get that house under contract. You do the inspection, make sure everything is good. And, I get paid for, after the close happens. And, that right now, that's just playing Monopoly, but there's a lot of situations where, how can I put this, by the way? People not understanding that it's just hard to, if you're not on the side of the people who are making the deals, it's going to be kind of hard to make money now. Or if you're not on the side of, if you are the consumer and not the one creating the thing that's being consumed or selling the thing that's being consumed, or at least the middleman, the middle class is gone. Poor class, like, it's over. This economy has changed, and it respects skills over your well-being or a living wage. So everything she mentioned makes sense. There's people who are buying homes just to rent them out. That's my plan. I have no plans to buy a house. When I do buy a house, I don't have no plans to live in it. I want to turn that thing into something profitable.
The Joint Center for Housing Studies of Harvard University said investors purchased nearly 31% of all single-family homes sold in the first quarter of 2025. That's almost 1 in 3 houses being purchased by investors instead of families looking for somewhere to live.
And that's the truth, though. That's the truth. Because the game incentivizes it. Someone doing wholesale real estate, they make their finder's fees, they make enough, they get their credit built, and then they go and buy their own properties for Airbnb. And then they take the cash flow and just start buying up real estate investments just to have them, and maybe sell them off or sign them under contract or use the money for earnest fees. People are playing these games differently now. We're living in we're in the middle of a wealth disparity and class war. And the people winning the class war understood that it's best to walk away from the poverty side of things and play the game on the other side. And people may hate me for saying that.
That is insane. So whether it's large corporations buying neighborhoods or individual private landlords owning multiple properties, more homes are being purchased as rental investments instead of owner-occupied homes. Every house that is turned into a rental is one less opportunity for someone to become a homeowner. And that's the trick. Years of paying rent makes it harder to save for a down payment. We live in a society where landlords can own 10 houses, but the people working full-time inside those same communities can't afford one. And that's the main critique of capitalism.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I get what she's saying, but like I said, I do wholesale real estate, so you don't even need really that much money to get started in that, right? She's talking about landlords owning 10 houses, right? Some of them had good credit, they could get loans, or they went to wholesaling like me, or they partnered. At one point, I partnered with a host of an Airbnb business, and they paid me to help them with co-hosting. So we are living in a different time where, like I said, you have to play the game of capitalism. It's not about being a worker and working your time away anymore. You might have to use your time to work for a check to have some cash to serve, do your basic survival, food and water and like transportation. But you got to understand that that's all that money's for when you're working a low wage job. It ain't about the money. You're using that money to keep yourself afloat, and then the other things you're doing are putting you in positions where it's not necessarily about, if you're making money right now, but will you be making money later? Once you start to understand these habits, they really matter,
Renting is supposed to be temporary. It's supposed to be. But when rent is eating your paycheck, you never save enough to escape it. Owning a
Yes, and that is true what she's saying. And that's where I say, in today's society, you do have to skill stack to a point to where it's ridiculous. Like, you have to become so skillful that it becomes like almost lunacy. You almost have to be a psychopath. But I kind of get Mr. Beast now, or I kind of get some of these creators that go risk their lives going into the hoods of Chicago and putting the video on YouTube. They understand where the economy's going, and they're like, man, if I can get on the other side of this while I'm working my job, it's going to be better for me to do that than it is for me to just work my job and hope I'm gonna save myself high enough and then finally do something I want to do. It's like, no, you got to start doing crazy stuff now, man. This life is getting different, man. Now it is different if you go into a specialized field, if you become a doctor, or if you become a surgeon, or if you're in certain positions where you can prosper. I think that's fine. Like, that's the thing. Those people deserve that. If they worked that hard to get through med school, if they worked that hard, even when things are affordable and unaffordable for them, if they got into nurse school, they got into something, CDL, a trade, drywall, HVAC, plumbing, you name it, right? That's a great way to get you some economic mobility. But don't expect a McDonald's job to get you far enough to where you're getting out. Yeah, right. I would tell people, like, as long as you got, like, you're making $18 an hour, and maybe you got some roommates and you're all, like, actually on your shit, you'll be okay if you're actually on your shit. But if you're not, it's gonna be really hard, bro.
Home has actually been one of the main ways families build wealth in America. But when you own a home, the money that you are spending every month can turn into something you actually own. But when you're renting forever, your money is only building your landlord's wealth instead of yours.
Nobody told you this. Not your teacher, not your dentist, not even the tooth fairy. But it's true. Once your teeth are gone,
And honestly, we can just look back in history and it proves my point. We know that with the system isn't broken, it's
homelessness, and they are just making it illegal to live in your vehicle, to dwell in your vehicle. They're towing cars, they're putting all kinds of rules and ordinances in, and the struggle is getting very real for a lot of people because this was something that people would do for a while to try and get ahead, hopefully temporarily, and now they're finding it even more difficult to do that. So it really is a very, very, very hard situation. It's a very sad situation here in America. Let me know what your thoughts are down below.
Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I will see you in the next one.